Land. We live on it, we farm from it, and we build on top of it. As you probably know, the population in our world is increasing, 7 billion with a growth rate of 1.14% a year, meaning 80 million people are added per year. And it is suggested that we will reach 8 billion by 2024. This current increase has also led to the increased need of homes and food. There is a debate over how to use this land, whether it be for farming or for housing. The majority of land for homes has been taken from farmland, which means the farmers are left to produce more food with less land. 24 million acres of the United States agricultural land has been developed since 1982 to 2010. That's the size of Indiana and Rhode Island combined. 50 acres are lost every hour to urban sprawl and development. Let's take a second to define this term, urban sprawl. Is when large stores, groups of people, and so on are built in an area around a city that formerly had few people living in it. I like to point out how it fails to say where this land comes from, which is usually farmland. Also, New York State has lost 500,000 acres of farmland due to urban sprawl since the 1980s, which is an equivalent of 4,500 farms. American Farmland Trust is a huge supporter for farmland conservation. The main reason for this is how fast and how much land we have been losing due to developments. With the increase in population, there is a worry that if there is too much land taken, there may not be enough food. On the flip side, developers buy this farmland because it is cheap, good soil where people want to live. In fact, in 2010, 80.7% of the population in the United States lived in urban areas, proving that this is a very popular choice of living. There are many benefits to living in these developments. From having fewer people in one area, the schools have a strong and focused education. For example, in New York City, they closed down one big high school and made smaller schools. The benefit was a 75% graduation rate, which was 15% higher than that of the bigger high school. Other benefits include a more laid-back lifestyle, less crime, and high property values. From the land being cheaper to buy, it is also more affordable housing for families. There is a bit longer of a drive if you end up working in the city, but the benefits of living here seem to outweigh this con. Another perk is that some areas have retail stores, offices, businesses, or even strip malls nearby. This reduces overall traffic since the location is near the developments and not located in the city. As for the developments that only contain residential subdivisions, there are perks here too. There will be a lot more room, like a bigger house, a front or backyard, and even spaces for a garden. Which brings me to greenery. Usually, cities are limited because of space. However, with more space, there is more room to decorate with trees, shrubs, flowers, and other plants to benefit the environment, which ends up reducing CO2 emissions. Thus, there is cleaner air and a much greener earth. Being that so many families will be needing housing, where does the line get drawn for how much farmland we need to sustain the population? This answer is impossible to answer because every culture has a different diet, the productivity of the crops varies, and there are many other variable factors. If we estimate about an acre a person, we will need to keep an eye on our lands. This is because a fifth of our land, or 408 million acres, is used for crop production. 1/4 of the land, or 613 million acres, is used for grazing land for livestock. However, GMOs are helping increase yields in food production. In a recent article by Bennett, he said that the crop yields of GMO increased by 22%, reduced pesticide use by 37%, and increased farmers' profits by 68%. That being said, it will help the food problem, but may not necessarily cure it. I also want to point out that a lot of our food is imported from other countries, but the loss of farmland to urban sprawl is everywhere. Luckily, American Farmland Trust has taken initiative by helping permanently protect 285,000 acres of New England's farmland and more than 5 million acres of farmland in the U.S. Now it's your turn to choose. Do you think we should protect more of the farmland for crops to our future families? Or should we make more housing available for these future families and rely on other countries for importing and GMOs to increase yield? Share your side and your research to back yourself up in the comments below. Here are some great places to start. Thanks for watching!